The popular light novels are being released one after another. This time, Takashi will be releasing the ones that will be released in September. This time we will be introducing popular light novels, mainly from MF Bunko J, including the last new issue of September. There are new releases of Liar Liar's short stories, which is currently airing a TV anime, and the main story of Re-Zero, and there are many popular series. There are other new releases that you might be interested in, so please refer to this video to decide which light novel to buy. This video is for reference. If you click the high rating button, other people will also be able to share the video with you. It will make it easier for people to recommend it, so please do not hesitate to ask a lot of people. It will be an opportunity for people to know about it, so I would be happy if you could support me. Well then, let's do it. First of all, released on September 25th. Firstly, is Sensuality Aili, which is the spin-off from the original TV series, Sensuality Noir. It's kind of unsurprising that media mix projects are slowly being received anime adaptation. I wonder if this does affects the light novel and manga adaptation being compete with one another. The story this time was told from the side character named Ellie, her point of view of her story. It also seems the main character will not be featured in it. Side characters seems to be slowly getting a spotlight moment. Quite rare, it seems. Aside from that, what do you think about the anime from your perspective? Please let me know in the comments below. This is an introduction to the new series. Here is Carneades' Angel Police L and the Timid Devil. This new work is a rather unusual project in which the original characters of Lourdes, who is in charge of the illustrations, are adapted into a novel. MF Bunko J has come up with a lot of interesting projects and it's really amazing. This work seems to be centered around a character called Suspension Police L, and is trying to capture people's fear. The story seems to be about two people, a timid devil and an angel who police him, who get involved in a certain incident and deepen their bond. The author is Keisuke Ayari, a master of dark fantasy, so it's an original story. I don't care about how the characters move in the story, but I feel like Keisuke Ayari has released a lot of new books this year. No, it's pretty amazing. The main characters seem to be two girls, so I guess there's some Yuri elements to it. If you like the genre, please check out this new work. Click here for more. This is the 35th volume of Re-Zero, Starting Life in Another World. The latest edition of Re-Zero is on sale. The pace of tourism is really not slowing down. Function Volume 35 and the 40th volume is starting to appear soon. Well, Re-Zero is currently up to Chapter 8, but it has been said for a long time that it will consist of 11 chapters. However, there seems to be an episode in the middle that was not planned at all. I don't really care how many wins they'll get, but the previous chapter, Chapter 7, was a perfect episode. It's just a continuation of the current episode, so it feels like it's a pretty long story. But what do you think about it as a series fan? It looks like there will be some tough developments, but there may also be some hopeful developments. Well, I'm not sure how much water will flood Chapter 8, but for Re-Zero, the third season of the TV anime has also been decided, and the content will continue, so it would be a good idea to read it carefully. Also this month, the 9th volume of the short story collection will also be released at the same time. Since it has not been published on the web, some readers of the web version may say that this is the favorite. Well, anyway, the amount of work that Tatsuhide Nagatsuki has to do is to publish a collection of newly written short stories while serializing them in Nenera. This collection of short stories is about Julius and others. It's a pretty bright episode, centering around Garfield, depicting the bond between brothers and sisters, and depicting the unity of the Subaru camp. That's right, since the main story has a lot of tense developments, I would like this collection of short stories to balance things out. That I'm also a fan of the series. Let's thoroughly check it out. Everlasting Noah, the danger of a boy who loves a corpse doll in this cruel world. I don't know. Is this a new work about supernatural battles? The atmosphere on the cover and the title are pretty good. Well, the main title is a proper noun, and it's a rare type these days. The story is set in a near-future world where a war continues to divide the world into two. The main character is a prince whose homeland was destroyed, but in order to survive he plays the role of a corpse doll. There also seems to be another corpse doll girl that the main character cares about, but she is destined to be destroyed and initialized many times and forced to continue fighting. Well, it seems like he belongs to a unit made up of corpse dolls and gets involved in various incidents. It looks like there will be a bit more science fiction elements. I'm quite curious about this. When I read the preview, I found that Japan and America existed, but the fictional history was clearly depicted, and the worldview was quite elaborate. I personally like SF battle stories quite a bit, so I'm thinking of purchasing this work. I'm definitely interested in it. Please check it out. This work. Liar Liar Short Stories. The Liar transfer student has a turbulent life at the school head. This is the first short story of Liar Liar, which is currently being broadcast on TV. This work, which has gained popularity as a romantic comedy about schoolboys, will not be released as a collection. This work is a daily life edition, so various short stories are included. It feels like a collection of episodes. When I checked the sample reading, it seems that there are 25 short episodes, so you can enjoy the daily lives of various characters. There seems to be a lot of short stories, but there are also well-written episodes. It seems like there is, so keep an eye out for that in the anime. I think people who have started this work will be able to enjoy it quickly, so please check it out. Next, let's start with B0. Next, from Overlap Bunko, The World of Ash is colored by the eyes of God. Volume 2, rising from the weakest to the strongest with a status that only I can see. It's a fantasy. The story is very orthodox, with a dungeon suddenly appearing in modern times and being conquered all over the world. The main character is the weakest adventurer, but he overcomes the trials of the dungeon and gains the ability of God's Eye, which allows him to view his status, and rises from there. Well, to be honest, when it comes to the introduction of the story, I feel a sense of déjà vu from various modern dungeon fantasies, but the main character is family-oriented. It's a fairly stable work, as there's a sense of exhilaration as he directly searches for strength and acquires new powers. The first volume was a prologue, with the main character awakening to his abilities, so from the second volume onwards, the exciting elements become even stronger. I don't think so. Judging from the synopsis, it seems like there will be more interactions with the heroine, so keep an eye on that. If you like modern dungeon fantasy, this is a must-see. If think you'll enjoy it, so please check it out. From MF Books, is the new shoujo story. Her engagement was unreasonably broken off, but she married a great aristocrat who is a direct descendant of the royal family using chores of magic. Volume 1. This is completely a new romance fantasy story, in which you have men chasing after a lady for love, with an antagonist trying to create obstacles. There it seems many have stories like these trying to replicate this, yet some did succeed at attracted attention, while others failed. This time, the story is on a lower-class girl nobleman while she was on her way to a party of a great aristocrat. Her engagement was broken off due to her unreasonable reasons, but right after that she met a young man, with magic, in traveling attire who took a liking to her. The next thing she knew, ends up serving as a young man's fiancé for one day only, but she learns that he is actually the next head of the great aristocrat who is hosting the party. It does seems not that bad, however aristocrat characters was being used too much, especially in shoujo genres. I wonder if it does affect the story progression. But, I do really like how it stays in the lane of being a fantasy genre. I wouldn't had much any impression of it yet, but if it performs well, then I'll have it a look. If you do like this, please have it a look. This is Volume 4 of the Reprise of the Spear Hero, which will be released by MF Books on September 25th. This is the first new book in the series for quite some time. It's been 5 years since the last release. It's a spin-off of The Rising of the Shield Hero, which I've been waiting for quite a while. This is an if story in which the main character is Motoyasu, the brave hero who has time-leaped from the timeline of the main story that began, and changes the main story. The relationship with Naofumi, the hero of the shield, is also completely different from the main story, so there is a sense of strangeness and freshness here and there. It's so beautiful that it's a little funny, isn't it? It's a time leap. It feels like history is being changed over and over again, so it's a series that you can enjoy in a different way than Vertical Heroes. It's been a while since a new book has been released, so don't miss out on the power of the series. Please do so. Also, the third season of the TV anime series The Shield Hero will start airing in October. The second season had a lot of changes to the original story, so there were some rough spots. but the production system was also rough. It seems like it's changed quite a bit, so I'm not sure how it will affect this. Anime people should also check it out. I would like to introduce a new series from GCN Bunko that will be released on the 29th of September, titled, He Took the Throne After Eating Monster Flesh. In the previous video, I introduced GCN Bunko, but the release date for this new work was delayed. This is the debut work of a new author, but it was released in September. It looks like another series will be released from Kadokawa Sneaker Bunko, which will be released on the 29th. And they seem to have adjusted the release date a little so that they will be released at the same time. I'm going to introduce this new book in a video introducing it. This new book is like a dark fantasy about an upstart, and the main character is the first prince who spends his days in fear of being assassinated. In order to escape from being poisoned, he buys monsters in the forest outside the venue and continues to eat their flesh to survive. It seems like he starts out in a pretty heavy state. One day, the protagonist meets a beautiful red-haired woman who is responsible for his experiences, and becomes her disciple, and begins to walk the path of becoming the strongest king. By the way, the protagonist does not want to become a king. It doesn't seem like it's happening, but it seems like there are a lot of misunderstandings. It's on a different level, and the debut work will be released at the same time, so I have high hopes for this one. If you want to read a battle fantasy about eating monsters and becoming the strongest, please check out this work. And finally, Reincarnated as a Sword Volume 16, which will be released on September 29th. The latest edition of the fantasy series, which has also been made into a TV anime. The main character who has been reincarnated as a sword instead of a human, and him. The relationship between the teacher and student of Fran, a girl who travels together, is an interesting work. There are quite a few inorganic-based otherworldly fantasies, but this work is definitely popular. It's quite expensive, and there are quite a lot of functions, but the magic school arc that lasted all volumes has come to an end and a new journey begins again. That seems to be the case. Well, in the illustrations, there are some pretty cool battle scenes, and there are also characters who follow the same route as the heroine Fran, and there are new encounters. I'm looking forward to seeing how the relationship develops around here. This is the series. Let's continue to enjoy the latest issue, fans. That said, this time I will be introducing the last light novel of September. This time, there were a lot of hot pots from anime, and there were also a lot of hot works that will be aired by anime from October. What did you think of it personally? If you have any light novels that you would like to purchase in the video, please let us know in the comments section. Until now, I will be introducing new books again next week, so please support the channel by clicking on the subscribe button or clicking the like button. I would be happy if you could watch the video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.